we take the family history and we look at something like a genogram or a trauma egg in some models, and we start to peel back the layers of what someone's story shows us, oftentimes those behaviors or those anxieties are not from their life itself. And I'll even do implicit work with people, and I'll say, I know you're feeling anxious. I know your mom had anxiety. I know your dad, was struggling with the things that you described. But I want you to close your eyes and I want you to tune in. And if you could think about mom and think about how much you're carrying that's yours and how much you're carrying that's hers. If you could split this pie chart up, what percentage would you give back to mom that you know is hers and isn't yours? And without fail, I have never had a client that didn't just know. They would come with an answer like, oh, it's like 80% hers. It's not even mine. And so part of the work that we're able to do, which is so fun and fascinating, is almost give back the percentage of whatever that expression of a trait is to the parent. We lean into what the thwarted experiences, emotions, and behaviors that happened in the generations before us. And we acknowledge, we validate, we feel the feelings that were oftentimes not able to be expressed. And in so doing, we're able to relieve generational show. We're able to reduce the universal energy, I think is what it feels like, is we're able to release or free generations past, of course, ourselves. And then what's even more fascinating is we're able to change the way our RNA shows up, and our offspring don't necessarily have to carry it if we do our trauma work before we reproduce. So sometimes the anxiety and the depression or the hypervigilance we feel isn't just ours. It's not just our story. It's about our family's story. So let me give you another example. Let's say your grandmother lived through war. She developed hypervigilance. She's always scanning for danger. She needed to do so as a survival mechanism because the history dictates the other shoe's gonna drop because she's seen that happen. And that pattern may have been passed down, not just through behavior, but biologically. So you might feel anxious in safe situations or have a propensity to scan environments because your nervous system is still wired for that danger. So what looks like dysfunction in you might just be an adaptation. Your body's trying to protect you based on whatever information was inherited, and what was useful generationally in past isn't maybe necessary now. And so we're adapted to be ready in that fight, that freeze, that flee stance when it's no longer necessary. And so when you're thinking about how you show up, really get curious about, what did your parents carry? What did they go through? Because that data, that information gives us a lot to work with. So there's a lot of good news about learning about this. These epigenetic changes aren't permanent. Just like any stance that we have now, any state that we are experiencing, any traits that we've inherited and that we show up, those are influenced by our experience, and that means they can be changed. So we've learned them generationally in our family history, sometimes in our current environmental lives and things that we've been through, and sometimes past. But all of those adaptations are things that our brains had to learn in order to adapt. And